Hello everyone, my name's Artemis Black, and let's talk about the bottom 5 Nega stars in 3rd season. This is going to be a short video. Games Workshop didn't really do a lot to star players in this edition, which I'll say at the end I don't like, and I'll tell you why. But these are the short list of the mega stars, the star players that got nerfed in 3rd season. And we're going to start with probably people's favorite. No more Mighty Blow +2. No more Dirty Player +2. These were one of the worst changes, I think, commonly held across the Blood Bowl universe that happened in Blood Bowl 2020. The removal rate on +2 was ridiculous. If you were hitting elves or anything else with armor 7, 8+ as it's called now, with Morg on a 3-dice block, it was something like a 45% removal rate, maybe higher. Deeproot also had it less of a problem because he's so slow. Borak with DP +2. I didn't put the Death Roller on here, but that had DP +2. The removal rate of them was like 1/3 if you had some assists. Atrocious. So it does mean that these might make it off the banned Megastar list. Without the +2, Morg's just very expensive and a big, strong guy. He might get banned just because he's strength 6 with block. Like, it's pretty crazy. But the one good thing about this is you might see Deeproot again. Deeproot was banned because he had the Mighty Blow +2, and halflings everywhere just could never take him in any tournaments and things. So you might see Deeproot being used more often now. Unfortunately, he's worse, so that's why you can use him. Borak got a good change, actually. I think having full leader instead of his old half a leader weird thing. I don't know why they put the boot in on him. I don't know why he'd ever be standing next to someone who else is taking a foul when he's got DP Sneaky Git. It's very strange. But it is something that will matter. Should you ever have a fouler on your team, you could kind of remember that he's got an assist. I mean, it's not a big deal. Next up, we have Creek Rustgouger and Hackflem Scuttlespike, 2 star players that were universally banned in Megastar lists across tournaments. They probably still will be, I'll be honest. However, Games Workshop seems to have eyeballed the Megastar lists and nerfed them all. And these 2 both take a movement bust, their most important stat. I don't think that's enough to stop them from being Megastar banned. He's still basically a better fungus. Creek, well, he's a more expensive without the special ability like fungus, but his special ability is also real good, and he doesn't get removed as often when he gets punched. And you might say, wait, everyone's removed when they get punched. That's not the case anymore. Because of the way the new rules are written, if a ball and chain is hypno-gazed or distracted for some reason and then is hit, it does not get automatically removed because it does not have ball and chain as a trait anymore, which is the only reason that it gets automatically removed from the pitch. Silly new change to the rules because they forgot to include rules about active traits. So that could actually happen. Obviously it'd be very rare, but it could happen, and it will matter therefore that he's got a high armor. Hackflem, I don't think movement busting him, even though it's his most important stat. I don't think movement busting him will get him off the banned list. He's still very good. Like, very good. So I don't think these 2 will see much more use, but they have been nerfed, so they make the list. Next up, we have Griff. Why is Griff on there, you may ask? He looks identical. 2 reasons. One, his special rule is just way worse. Like, way worse. His old special rule allowed him to re-roll a dice, which one of the problems, which again, we'll talk about at the end of the video with star players, is they have loner. And if you can just have a free reroll, that negates the loner reroll. So if you need him to make that key pickup, he can do it. And that was normally what it was for, right? Either handing him the ball and rerolling a catch, or having him pick up the ball after he's sacked. We Also, will not see him on halfling teams. And to be honest, that was the vast majority of the times that you saw Griff. Who else is taking Griff? Who else is taking a 300 TV star player in tournaments? Who else is going to be 300 down? You might see him in some league games across the world, but you won't see him in ladders. You won't see him on Fumble. And now, I don't know who the hell will take him on tabletop. So Griff is nerfed by virtue of just not existing for most of us anymore. Number 2, we have Cindy Pie Whistle. And the main thing that's changed about her is she has doubled in price. Not gone up a little. Bomber Dribble Snot went up a little. Cindy has doubled in price to 100k. Nothing else has changed about her, but they did change bombs. Bombs were also nerfed for a second time. They were nerfed with having Mighty Blow taken away, which thank God for that. But they were nerfed a second time this time around. There is no roll now if someone catches a bomb. There used to be if you threw a bomb directly at someone and they caught it, there was a roll to see if it blew up in their hands. That's been removed. So now if they catch it, they are definitely going to get to throw it. That nerfs bombs. So on top of the bomb nerf, Cindy being 100k, I could see it coming off the banned list. I could see people being allowed to use Cindy. Bomber Dribble Snot kept his special rule of definitely blowing it up in your hands. He's going to still be banned. It doesn't matter that they added... I don't even know why they only added 30k to his and kept the special rule the same and yet doubled Cindy. She was the worst of the two. Very weird choice from Games Workshop. But, you know, again, even though this is a Negastar list, you might see these players more because they've been made worse, therefore they'll be allowed. And now we come to the main reason I even bothered to make a bottom 5 list for this, and it's to make fun of Grombrindal. Grombrindal, I don't know if just someone at Games Workshop hates him, hates his model, whether he slept with a Games Workshop rules designer's wife, but Grombrindal took probably the biggest nerf I have seen in a while. The only reason to take Grombrindal was his special rule, right? It was very interesting. It was fun to play around. Wisdom of the White Dwarf. When he was activated, you could select one teammate within 2 squares of him, and that teammate got Break, Tackle, Dauntless, Mighty Blow, Sure Feet. Interesting skills to give to something. You'd see him show up on halfling teams, and a tree would suddenly have Sure Feet. You know, just fun things. And that was every turn. That was the reason to take Grombrindal. It was every turn. They've nerfed it to once per game. They might as well have just deleted him. Nobody's taking Grombrindal when they've removed 15 uses of his special rule. That's crazy. So he is just toast. See you later, Grombrindal. It was nice knowing you. You had your moment in the sun, and now you're dead. That was honestly, I basically made an entire video just to laugh at Grombrindal being nerfed into the floor for no real reason. When did anyone ever hear, oh man, that Grombrindal is so OP? Never heard a single complaint about him. Stamped into the ground. Might as well have just been removed like Bryce the Slice and Frankenstein. So I did say I'd talk about this at the end of the video just because this video wasn't going to be too long. And they didn't really nerf too many stars too badly. We do have a star player problem in Blood Bowl. We still have it this season. We've always had it. There's so many star players, and so many of them are just pointless. Like, just completely pointless. They're this rich addition to the game, fluff-wise, and in practicality, 80% of the star players never see any use. Outside of casual gaming, like if you're just playing with your mates and you just like a model or something, they probably will see some use, right? But in ladder play, in league play, in tournament play on tabletop, 80% easy of the star players just never see any use. No one's ever buying them. They're too expensive. They come with loner. They come with skills you wouldn't pick. The loner guys, most of them don't have block, so you don't want to ever use them because they could lose you the game. I don't know what you can do about it, because the problem is when they do make star players that are useful, they regularly make them too useful, and then they're all suddenly banned by tournament organizers everywhere. But something surely has to be done. Something could have been done. Some effort to make star players some use. Like, it's just so weird. One of the things I've always been interested in is you can't roster star players. That was a thing that was um, a possibility a long time ago. You can't just roster star players or inducements. So, for example, if you do play Stundies, who could always do with a buff, right? Because they're the worst teams in Blood Bowl. You can't, like, Halflings can't roster their chef. They have to hope that they spin into a team or play into a team if you're not playing tournament style, if you're online, that's 100 TV up, or they just don't have a chef, which is kind of annoying because they live and die around their chef. Same with goblins and bribes. They can't roster bribes. If you could roster inducements, that means you could roster star players. Other star players might see play. Maybe if you rostered a star player, he loses loner. That would be pretty good. Maybe some of the lesser star players, you could make them cheaper and they could find their way onto rosters. They'd sell more miniatures, right? And they wouldn't really overbalance the game. The reason nobody uses those star players is they're not great. They're just a lot of them are just okay. But if you could have if you could have Grombrindal permanently on your team instead of one of your blitzers or whatever, he's a blocker. Okay, so he'd be instead of a Longbeard. That would be better. Like, you might have him then, but hanging around waiting to be picked just doesn't happen because you just got other things to do. Obviously, you couldn't roster a wizard. No one should be allowed to roster a wizard, but so there could be rules about that. But star players need something done. There's just nothing. Nobody takes any of these. We've just got a big, lovely list of 50 star players in a PDF, 40 of which are just star players we know exist and never take. Like, they're just there. And every time they make these changes, all that happens is some of them get removed from the list of things we take, and some of them get added. It doesn't expand. We haven't had a like glorious day of star players where 30 of the 50 are seeing use all the time. It just doesn't happen. Anyway, I don't know what you think about that. If you want to tell me what you think about that, you can find me on Twitch at this address, twitch.tv/theartemisblack. And if you're here on YouTube, you can press all the buttons and bells and follow me here. I'll be honest with you, I will be making negative videos. If you don't like people saying the bottom, the worst rules or the bottom 5 this, I'm not for you. Like, I'm going to tell you that now because I don't understand people who only talk about the positives of something. How do you fix a game? How do you make it better if you don't talk about the things that need to be made better? Such a weird attitude. So yeah, if that's you, plenty of other people to watch. I will happily wave at you from a distance. But otherwise, come and join us. We talk about Blood Bowl at least 5 days a week over on Twitch. And I will see you in the next video.